This is going to sound like so much hate, and I swear it's not.
Welcome to the Warner Brothas Podcast. My name is Keenan, joined by my brother Kyle, joined by Timmy, joined by Brandon. Hey guys, how are we doing? We're about, I think, 2.5 weeks away roughly from the start of the season. For the first Monday. We're 2 weeks away from the first Thursday. Right? About when this comes out, it'll be 2 weeks away from the first Thursday.
That's true. That is true.
So, yeah.
Goodness gracious, 15 days until we get to see the Eagles mollywop the Cowboys. Cannot wait.
How about them Cowboys?
How about them Cowboys? But anyways, I'm gonna pass this over to Kyle because our great host here had an idea that we loved, and we're gonna talk about it. He's gonna lead us into it, and we're gonna go from there. So Kyle, go on.
Well, Brandon and I actually played this game with music topics a couple weeks ago. It's gonna take on a different name. It's a drinking game. I think at the time we called it drink, shot, or pour, or something like that, or pass. We're actually gonna call it shot. What was it? Sip, shot, sip, or piss, right? Or you can name it whatever you want. We're still workshopping the name a little bit, but take a shot if you agree with the topic. Take a sip if you halfway agree with the topic or disagree or you're indifferent, and go take a piss if you disagree with the topic. Pretty simple. It's NFL prediction time though. We're doing the NFC West tonight, so we got assigned 4 teams. We're gonna come out with 4 topics for these teams. And we're going to take a shot, we're going to take a sip, or we're going to go take a piss for these topics. We're going to see who wants to start, by the way. Should we go in alphabetical order?
If we go in alphabetical order, that means let's go Brandon. Yeah, Brandon start. We'll go Brandon, then Timmy, then me, then you.
I'm at NFL teams, alphabetical order.
Oh.
We could go draft order.
I figured we just
I know. Because draft order would actually be Tim, myself, Brandon, and Keenan. In the fake draft that I did last night, but
all right, so then let's go draft order. Let's go start with Tim.
We do that. We'll start with Tim.
Let's go draft order.
Timmy, you're on the clock.
Wow, I wasn't expecting it. So I got to sign. We're doing NFC West.
NFC West.
NFC West. I got to sign the Los Angeles Rams.
Oh.
The Rams are just a very intriguing team this year. We're getting a lot of news about this Matt Stafford thing. So I think, realistically, this team is still going to be very good. I think they're going to compete with every team. But I think Matthew Stafford is going to derail this. And I think he's going to miss some time, whether it's to start the season or he just gets hit wrong 1 week and he's out for a month. So I think we're going to get an underwhelming season from them. But I do like their defense. It's getting a little bit older. I like their offense. I don't like their offense with Jimmy G at the helm. But I do think Matt Stafford misses some time at some point in the season this year, and I think that's going to derail them from making the playoffs.
Okay. So
let's go, Brandon.
Timmy. I was about to say. So Timmy's. I was going to say just in statement form. Obviously, he gave the reasons why, and I love that. Obviously, we needed the in depth as well. The statement: Matt Stafford's going to derail the Rams from making the playoffs. Is essentially the statement I just got. Okay. I just wanted for the fact of sip, drink,
shot, sip, or piss.
Shot, sip, piss.
I got to remember that because that's way different than
it is slightly different than last time. But we'll pass it. Who wants to take a shot at it first? No pun intended.
I'll go ahead since I was nominated. I'm gonna take a shot. I'm gonna take a couple of shots of that actually. And the reason being, we talked about it last week on the previous pod. Like, back injuries are no joke. I think he has a disc issue, and like, they're, as someone that had one myself, like, they're very finicky. Like, you can feel great one day, and then you wake up the next day and your legs numb. You can't move. Like, you lose range of movement. Like, whatever. And really, all it takes is for one time for somebody to hit him the right way, or for someone to land on top of him. It doesn't even have to be his midsection or his back. It could be his leg, whatever side it's affecting. And it's going to send it off. And like, that's something that's super tricky because like, you might feel good 3 days in a row, but then the next 6, you're going to feel bad. So like, definitely concerned about it. Like, it's great that he's been practicing. But I'm definitely concerned about that because I mean, all it takes is one thing, and that's it. And then, like Timmy said, you're going from Stafford to Jimmy Garoppolo, so that's a big downgrade.
Huh?
I've gone back and forth about this one myself. I actually think if I would have got the Rams, I think I would have given the same topic. I got to be honest though, I kind of like falling back to Jimmy G. But I think I'm gonna take a sip of this. I think most of the summer I would have said I'm taking a shot, especially after the Matt Stafford injury. But I do forget that they have Jimmy G. I do think that's a quality backup, especially with Sean McVay. And I, like Tim said, I like their roster in general. I like their roster, but I do agree with them. I think in one way or another, I think Matt Stafford kind of derails things for him. So I'm taking a sip, though I do feel like if you got Jimmy G coming in for, let's say, 4 games, 3 games, I think that's okay. I think you can do worse than that, especially in the McVay offense, especially with Devontae Adams. You still got Puka there. He can stay healthy. Their backfield, their defense is good. Like, they're young enough to where they could withstand it. I guess it kind of depends on how you feel about the rest of the division as well. So I'm going to take a sip. But I agree with the statement in general that it's going to be Stafford, if anybody, who derails it. So I agree with that. Actually, you know what? Let me change that to a shot. We're going to go a full shot of that. I'm not saying they're missing the playoffs, but I am going to take a shot of that statement.
I'm taking a sip because I kind of agree with the statement that if they do end up missing the playoffs, that it would be kind of Stafford kind of on Stafford, on his back. No pun intended for that. But also at the same time, I do think that if McVay's a very good coach, and I think they could withstand the fact if he has to miss a couple games, and it just all depends because Stafford's a warrior and he's going to gut it out. But at the same time, if he doesn't have the same velocity on the rotation with the ball, I know he can throw with his arm, but obviously that's just going to be maybe an arm injury. Obviously, you throw with your body. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how they utilize Stafford game to game, because I think game to game it could be very different. You might see a lot of quick passes. You might see a lot of like screens. How much is Kyron Williams going to touch the ball? Is Blake Corum going to be a much bigger portion of the offense this year as well? Because you do have a very good route runner in Devontae Adams, and Puka Nacua as well as another good route runner. So you have guys who can get the ball out quick. So I'm taking definitely a sip of that because Matt Stafford's he has been probably the biggest topic of any contending team so far to me this offseason, because if Matt Stafford was 100% correct and right going into the season, they easily could get to the NFC Championship game. I mean, they were a couple plays from getting there last year, in my personal opinion. But at the same time, they also could be in a situation where the injury to the quarterback could derail their playoff chances for the year. So I'm taking a sip of it because I don't think they have the means to withstand the injury short term. If it's a long-term injury, you can call it kind of.
All right, let's bring it back to Tim, though. What do you think their record ultimately is? Do you think they missed the playoffs?
I do think they missed the playoffs. I think they're a borderline team. I got them right at 9-8. They're right outside. So I have them as the 8 seed, literally the one team out of the playoffs. So I think it's going to be very close. The whole injury thing, it really just depends if it happens, when it happens. Because there are like a couple tough stretches of their schedule, but then there are a couple cupcake stretches. So if we see Jimmy G when they're playing the AFC South, I think they have a good shot at winning those games. But if they get them when they're playing Philly and San Francisco and Baltimore, then I don't know if that's going to be the greatest thing. So,
True that. I think I see them the exact same way. I actually have them at 9-8, right on the bubble. If they get to 10-7, if they tie, you know what I mean? They're right in that wheelhouse for me. So we see it the exact same way. Again, the whole Stafford Garoppolo thing, I think Keenan hit on the head. If you got Garoppolo for 8 games, then yeah, maybe they're still on the bubble, but you're probably not making the playoffs. Where if it's just a month or 3 games, I think you can withstand that. And then, like Keenan said, if he's fully healthy, that could be a 1 seed, possibly, depending on how much his game's diminished. Period. So,
in my write-up, I said if Matthew Stafford is healthy, they can go toe-to-toe with any team. Literally any team in the NFL. I think that they could potentially win a football game against if Stafford is 100%.
They went to Philly last year and they gave the Eagles the biggest trouble that they'd had in like a couple months.
Let's
Like,
say he is
I was
100%. Let's say we get 17 games of Stafford. Any fear of slippage just with age? Any fear of just his overall game taking a dip?
Not enough to really like bump them out of the playoffs. I think if he's fully healthy and he's good for the season, they're an 11, 12 win team, and they're in.
Fair
Even
enough.
if he does slip, it's a little bit, but they're a good enough team to rally around him. So
Fair
I
enough.
agree with that, and I think playoff time, there's hard to trust many more quarterbacks, especially in the NFC, than him. He's because he even showed last year that like he still has got it. Like when he needs to have it, he has it.
So Petty, Keenan, what y'all have for records?
Brandon, you go.
I still, even with like the back thing, like they're still like probably my second favorite team coming out of the NFC. Like I wouldn't be surprised if they got to 12 wins or 13 wins. And even even if Stafford, let's say, misses 3 or 4 games, I'm really not too concerned. Like the level of play obviously is a drop off from Stafford to Jimmy G, but like I think what a lot of people forget is like the Rams defense last year was good, and a lot of those guys are young players. Jared Verse, Braden Fisk, like a lot of rookies, a lot of second-year guys. Like,
Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, Kobe Bryant, Cam Curl, like so on and so forth. But like if those players like take a step forward, like that defense should be. I would be surprised if that was a top 5 unit. Like I think their defense, like if it comes to that, will keep them in a lot of games. And like Kyron, Devontae, Puka, like if the 2 receivers are healthy and if Kyron's healthy, like yeah, like I think 12, 13 wins.
This was your Super
I'll go
Bowl
12
team.
and 5.
This was your Super
going
Bowl
12
team
and
coming
5,
out of
Kyle.
February.
Yeah, and I'm still like, as of right now, like I'm a little hesitant about it. Like if Stafford keeps practicing and starts stacking up days, like, and all the reports coming out of LA are still like positive, I'm still riding with them.
So, and I'm a little more in line with Brandon than I am with you two, but like I'm pretty much in line with you two. I have them at 10-7. They're my 7th seed, and I have them 10-7 with 2 other teams that will remain nameless until later. But I have them 10-7, winning or losing tiebreakers with those teams. But I think you could tell me that they just missed the playoffs, or you could tell me that they did get to 12-5, and I could agree with both of those. I could understand both of those. It just all depends on the health of Matthew Stafford. But you're right. The defense is live. The defense is young. Plus, you also have got you have a good running back within Kyron Williams, and you have a good backfield, good receivers. So I think they could withstand it. Plus, you have one of the best coaches in the league. So 10-7.
Listen, I got to say, I think Brandon just wants to get drunk because he took a shot of Tim's opinion and then completely made the argument as to why they're possibly a Super Bowl team. So he's just trying to get lit, I guess. So but
we always get lit.
Every day we lit.
My team was the Arizona Cardinals. And I'm going to present to you guys this statement right here. Explanation if need be. If not, we can get around to it. But the Arizona Cardinals are going to be a top 5 offense in the NFL this year. React. I'll catch you on the way back. You guys can react to that. You guys can.
I'm gonna exit stage left there. I'm not gonna deal with that one personally. So I treat that anytime I hear Flo Rida when I'm out, I just leave the building and wait until he comes back. Like I don't listen to Flo Rida if I'm out. I don't listen. So like for me personally, and it has nothing to do with I don't think that the Cardinals can be a good offense because they absolutely can. There's just so many. I think there's just a lot of potent offenses. I think the Eagles still have the ability to have a top 5 offense with the way they can run. The Falcons have a lot of talent. I mean, that just all depends on how they go along. The NFC North has multiple teams. Maybe we see a resurgence with the Chiefs. I like what the Ravens have, the Bengals, the Bills. So I just think that top 5, I'm leaving on. Top 10, I would sip. So I think top 5, though, I think that's a little too much for me.
Keep going. Keep going.
I'm leaving the building, getting in my Uber, and going home. Like, I think they'll be outside the top 15. Their OC, Drew Petzig, I don't know how the hell you say it. Like, they have great skill players, like Trey McBride, obviously Marvin Harrison, but like, their offense last year was like super anemic. Like they do not use motion. Kyler Murray still, I think he still struggles to see over the offensive line. I mean, I could see them being like say outside the top 15, but maybe like a 12 to 18 in that range. Yeah, I don't foresee top.
Okay, Timmy.
I'm gonna have to take a piss on that one.
Everyone's pissing. All right.
Yeah, I think top 5 is definitely not a little too rich. It's a lot too rich. I actually think this team is going to be pretty similar to where they were last year. Marvin Harrison could take a step, and I understand why you'd say that. They do have a lot of talent on this offense specifically between McBride, Marvin Harrison, James Conner. Trey Benson could take a step and take over a little bit more. It all relies on Kyler, and I just don't have any trust in Kyler to facilitate a top 5 offense here. So I'm definitely going to pass on this one. No shot that they're top 5. I don't even feel comfortable saying that they'd be top 10 or 15. I think I'd be outside of that range too.
So here's the thing. That statement does sound crazy. I'm actually going to sip it. It's my own statement. I'm going to sip it. Not taking a shot of it. But they were a top 10 offense last year. Statistically, in all the major categories, they were anywhere from 12 to 7 last year, or maybe 15 to 7. But they were cumulatively a top 10 offense last year. Now you got year 2 of Marvin Harrison Jr. You got Trey McBride. You got James Conner. And you got Kyler, who can be explosive. I believe last year was his first year back from injury, right? Like last year was missed some of the last season prior. So I don't know. I'm expecting big things out of Kyler as far as explosion. I don't take any credence in him being like a playoff performer or anything like that. But regular season, yeah, I think this team not only quietly could sneak into top 5 offense, right, in between 8 and 5, but I think they could be sneaking into winning the NFC West territory. Maybe even being a player in the NFC, just period, top of the NFC, completely based off schedule, which is why, again, schedule based and going off last year, that's why I'm saying they could be top 5. I don't believe that wholeheartedly necessarily, but the combination of that, yeah, I think you could see some explosive numbers out of the Cardinals. So,
and what would you have the record at?
Right now it's sitting at 10 and 7, but I think this could be a 12-win team. They've got a cupcake schedule. If Kyler doesn't turn the ball over in most of these games, they should just flat out win. And their tough games are like, off the top of my head, it's someone like the Dolphins. You know what I mean? Like, aside from the divisional games, they've got these games where it's like, all right, if their top end talent wins out, like, yeah, they could end up being a 12, 13-win team just based off schedule, just off them having such talent on offense. They've got an improved pass rush too. So I think this is just in general, they're a well-balanced team. Their offense is already above average. Their defense is even better. They're well coached. Yeah, I think we're going to hear a lot from the Cardinals this season. I'm going to stamp it at 11 and 6, actually.
11 and 6. Okay. I'm going to go next because real quickly. I actually have them at 7 and 10, and it's because I think that they're solid and they're going to start off the year good. They typically, Kyler has played worse towards the second half, back half of the season. I mean, it's Call of Duty time when that typically comes. I'm just kidding. But the back half of the season.
It does correlate. It really does correlate.
Cliff Kingsbury was the same way. Like, all his teams typically were really good early. They fell off at the end, typically because there's more finesse teams when they had to get more physical. And then Call of Duty time for Kyler seems to go downhill. It just happens to be that way. But and you're right, Kyle. Their schedule starts off pretty fine. The last 6 weeks of their season isn't great. Well, from week 11, honestly, isn't great. So they see San Fran, Jacksonville, Tampa Bay, the Rams, Houston, Atlanta, Cincy, the Rams again. That last stretch is difficult.
It's tough.
And I think that's where you get from like a 6-2 team to a 7-10 team. I mean, but also you're right. If they are clicking, they're rolling, and they do have offense, they can get to that. But I have them at 7-10.
Honestly, that playoff or that schedule, you can start that at week 7. They play Green Bay, Dallas, Seattle, and then San Francisco before that. So it is an even tougher schedule than that last 6. Those 4 are going to be tough to win as well.
They start off against the Saints. They have Carolina. Seattle's going to be okay.
Oh, they can get some wins early, but then
they can definitely get some wins.
I don't love it after that.
I could see them stacking wins early and then kind of between the division, between those games like the Cowboys, like the Packers, I feel like they could steal some of those. Like, I feel like they're kind of built for those games. Kyler's obviously the question mark, like in playoff games, but Connor can run in these cold weather games. Connor can run in these like outdoor East Coast type of games. Marvin Harrison,
Yep.
assuming he takes a step forward, we've seen how much that can open up a QB, take their game to the next level. Again, not saying Kyler in the playoffs, but just regular season, yeah, I think this team could cause some problems. And we've seen them play spoiler a lot in years past when they have lesser rosters. And I think they're just so well rounded and well coached. Especially if you got Kyler moving out of the pocket and such. Yeah, I think they could steal some games, and you look up and you're like, oh shit, what are they doing with 10, 11 wins right now? You know what I mean? So yeah.
All right, Tim, what do you have, Matt?
One of my biggest things with the Cardinals is I actually just heard, I was listening to a podcast and somebody had interviewed Clayton Adams, who was their offensive line coach last year for the Cardinals. Now he's in Dallas as the OC. He had said that Kyler Murray has his days in practice and in games where he doesn't want to run, and he'll voice that to his team and say, hey, I'm just not feeling like running right now.
That's very
I can tell you right now, Lamar Jackson has never once looked at Derrick Henry and said, hey, I just don't feel like running it right now. I feel like I'm not going to just pull it and run it for 80 yards for a touchdown if it's there, because I just don't really feel like it.
That's wild.
Josh Allen telling James Cook and Sean McDermott.
Sorry, guys,
I ain't
you're
got
going to
it
have to
today.
do it. No.
I got maybe 6 yards in me. Maybe 6 yards in me.
That's like
6 yards.
that's like a veteran, like that's like a veteran guard, or that's like I got like 7 good minutes in me. Like use me sparingly. I got like 7 good minutes in
Joe
me
Johnson on the
as the
Celtics.
quarter. Honestly, it's like, hey, I've got a second quarter stretch in me. Like that's about
I
it.
got a second quarter stretch,
I
brother.
got about it. Anthony
Because of
Richardson.
that, I don't think I like this Cardinals team at all this year. Before this, I did think that they were potentially going to be a team that could rise a good amount. But when I really plotted out the schedule, I don't like it for them. I'm pretty polarizing on my takes here. I got them all the way down at 5-12. I think they're going to be a bad
That's
football
wild.
team.
That's wild.
Wow.
So that's mainly why I'm taking a piss all over this take right now. Is
Because you're all the way out on the Cards.
Yeah, I'm all the way out on the Cardinals.
Gotcha.
I think James Conner is a worry too. He is old. There's a chance he doesn't play all the games. There's a good chance he doesn't play half the games. And the offensive line isn't a top tier offensive line here, so I am worried.
Fair enough.
So I am actually going to go with I'm between 9-8 and 10-7. I think they have enough talent to compete, and I think their defense is like a sneaky good unit. Like their secondary, especially if Will Johnson is like good, like their secondary could be very good. With that division, I'll go 9-8. We'll go 9-8. I really like the schedule. Like I could see them kind of splitting every couple of games. I do think, I mean, if Marvin Harrison Jr. takes a step forward, like it could open the offense up. What concerns me is that there's really not much around him and Trey McBride, obviously. Like it's Michael Wilson and Zay Jones. That's their other 2 receivers. Like
Zay Jones.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. Like, and then Simi Fehoko, if you want to go down that road. I worry about that. James Conner, definitely. You can pencil James Conner in every year for missing 3 or 4 games. Trey Benson, like, he's a cool second-year back. Like, they don't really know what they have there. But I could kind of see it going kind of either way. Like, they could just kind of spiral out of control. Like, maybe Kyler isn't good, or the running game's non-existent. Like, I could see them going 6-11, 7-10, something like that. But I think their ceiling's probably 10-7. But I'll go with 9-8.
Okay. All right. So Kyle, was I next, and then Brandon?
Brandon, then you. If we're going draft order.
Brandon
So
and me.
yeah.
Okay. Brandon, you next.
All right. So for the San Francisco 49ers, I'm going to give y'all, since everybody's went team predictions so far, I'm going to give you a player prediction. My player prediction involves Christian McCaffrey. I think Christian McCaffrey has over 2,000 all-purpose yards this year.
Damn.
I think he plays a healthy season. And I'll give you one solid reason. Don't remember where the hell I saw it at. It pertains to fantasy football, but every single season that Christian McCaffrey has been healthy in training camp and healthy throughout training camp, he's finished as the RB1 or RB2 like overall. So, and there's also kind of like a little bit of a pattern with his playing time. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I think it's like every third year or so, like after an injury, a second or third year after an injury, like he's normally pretty healthy. He looks good in camp. I wouldn't be surprised if he has 1,300 rushing yards, and I could see him going for 1,200 rushing yards and 1,000 receiving yards. Like,
damn.
So yeah, 2,000 plus all-purpose yards for Christian McCaffrey.
I'm gonna sip it. I got it real quick. I'm gonna sip it, and it's because even if he plays all year, I could see the 49ers having a long-term view with him and using a Garendo, especially early on in the season, just to preserve him, to keep him not like specifically like Kawhi, where you're like really babying him, but kind of like where Kawhi towards the back half of the season, where it was like, all right, we're gonna try to limit you, and then when we need you to ramp it up, we can ramp it up. So I'm sipping it because I think that Christian McCaffrey fully healthy, and if he is right, he can really get back to his form. And obviously, if he's in form 2000s, honestly, it feels like a walk in the park for him because he's just that talented. But at the same time, I just think the 49ers are going to kind of keep him precaution. So sipping it because I don't think you're wrong, but I just a little worried on him.
Tim, what you got?
I'll take 2 or 3 shots of that. I think that's exactly what's going to happen. I think they're going to have a very good season. They got a cakewalk of a schedule this year. They're playing the AFC South. I'm pretty sure they play the NFC South too. Their toughest games are going to be mainly their in-division games and then like the Bucks. So I think that this team is going to roll, and I think it's going to be primarily because of CMC. Not too worried about Ayuk not being there or Debo. Debo didn't really have an impact anyways. I think George Kittle's great. I think Brock Purdy's going to do good. I think it's all going to work. I think they're going to be a very, very, very good team this year.
Okay. And Kyle, you?
Listen, if it works out like that and he's a 2,000-yard all-purpose yard type of player, with that schedule, this could be like a 14-3 team, the way y'all are talking. I'm actually going to piss on it. I actually think McCaffrey's going to miss 3 games. That's the only reason why. I think we're going to get an all-pro level season out of McCaffrey, but I do think he's going to miss games. I'm very worried because I feel like if he's out, the Niners will still be okay. The Niners could still make the playoffs. The Niners could still even get production out of their running back room. But obviously McCaffrey, with all he brings in the passing game, like he just takes you to another level, obviously. So I think he misses games, but I do think we're getting his best season since 2 seasons ago, obviously, with his nightmare Achilles season last year, double Achilles, which is exactly why I'm so worried. But I do think they get enough out of him to where they can produce and get some wins for sure. So I'm gonna tell y'all guys right now, I think I got them at 12-5 and winning the division. It sounds like Brandon and Tim have them at like 15-2 at this point, but I'm gonna stick them at 12 for right now.
Okay, 12-5. Brandon, you go.
So I am. Give me a bottle of whatever, and I'm taking every shot in the bottle.
Got him going 17-0.
Yeah, like I really like. I think like receiving wise, I think that's where he's going to make his money at. Obviously, he's a great receiving back, but I think if he is fully healthy, and he is healthy all year long, like I do think maybe he'll miss a game, maybe 2 games for rest purposes. With their receiving options, like Brandon Ayuk, like he's supposed to come back off the pup, but like we don't know when that's going to be. We don't even know what he's going to look like whenever he comes back. Like knee injuries are tricky to come back from. He could be washed. He might not have the same explosive, traits that he had before. Like, and it also takes guys time to ramp up as well too. So like,
and he was rusty
we
last
might not see him. Yeah. So like because of the holdout, so like it could realistically be, let's say week 10 before he's like fully ramped up to speed, and is like playing 80-90% of the snaps, whatever. Juwan Jennings is injured right now, calf strain. We know what can happen with that. That could lead to Achilles. The calf strains are also like hamstrings; they're tricky. He could be in and out of the lineup. It's really just Ricky Pearsall, who I love. I think he's a great receiver. Sky Moore, who they just traded for today, and then I think DeMarcus Robinson, but he just got suspended for 3 games for PEDs. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if McCaffrey, like, I think he could flirt with 1,000 receiving yards. So I think 800 or 900 is certainly possible. Yeah, I've got the Niners at 13-4. I think with a fully healthy year out of McCaffrey, and then if they get all those receivers healthy and George Kittle too, I think they could be really good. I think they could be a tough out this year.
Okay. Timmy, you go, and then I'll close it off.
Not gonna lie to you guys, I had them at 15-2, but I think this team is good enough to where at the end of the season they can rest CMC, so they might slip one of those games. I'll bring them down to 14-3. I don't know if Brandon mentioned Juwan Jennings is still there, and he's still a very productive guy there too. So I think between Juwan, Pearsall, and whoever else is there receiving with George Kittle and CMC, that's enough wide receivers to make it up until Ayuk gets back later on. So I think this is going to be a good year. I could see 15-2. I think I could very well see this being one of the 15-win teams.
Pearsall looks good. Not for nothing. I know it's his preseason, but in general, he just looks crisp coming out of his routes and stuff.
So I have them winning the division, but I have them winning the division at 10-7. I think that I think that during the season they're going to have some ups and downs, and I think it's going to be more so early that they're going to have those ups and downs, just because you've got McCaffrey coming off of an injury. Obviously, Ayuk's not there. Jennings is nursing something right now. Obviously, Pearsall does look good. We'll see how that defense is operating. Obviously, they've lost pieces. They get Robert Saleh. I just think that early on in the season, they could kind of find themselves maybe losing a couple games that we would expect them to win on the schedule now, and then once they find their groove, once McCaffrey really gets into groove and all that thing, that they could start winning, stringing on games. I could definitely see, I think 14-3, 15-2, I couldn't see that personally, but I definitely could see like 12-5 for me. But I have them at 10.
Just curious, who do you think like their losses really come from? Because other than their division, their toughest game is like Chicago. It's literally cake. It's the AFC South, so we got the Colts, the Titans, the Jags, the Texans. We got the NFC South, so we got the Falcons, the Bucks, the Saints, the Panthers. That's 8 wins, in my opinion, right there.
Oh, I think they could easily lose to the Cardinals, the Jags, the Rams, the Bucks, the Falcons,
the Bucks
Texans.
For sure. I think the Bucks, yeah, that would probably be the toughest game.
No, like I'm just saying, like those. So, like I think they will be fine. Like in division, those games are always going to be tough, regardless, and each of those teams are going to be tough. So, like I don't think they're going to sweep the division personally. And then the Bucks, I like the Falcons. Houston's interesting, and that's at Houston. Obviously, it doesn't make the world of difference, but it is at Houston. So I think there are some games there, and then I also think that you can overlook a team like a Carolina. Like I just think like those are the teams that you can overlook. Listen, every team has them. Every team has them. The Ravens are good for one overlook a year, like where you just pencil in. Yep, they're losing to that random team week whatever for no reason. So like it's just, those are the ones. So I have them at 10-7. Could they get to 12-5? Sure. I just don't see for me 15-2.
Where I look at it a little differently though, like you're worried about them at the beginning of the season. I think they build wins at the beginning of the season. I'm more worried about them, especially in the offensive side of the ball later in the season, if they're unhealthy, if they start to get injuries, much like last year. This defense got younger. If this was a different DC other than Saleh, I might be a little worried because it's like it's all from the draft, right? But the fact that it's someone who's been in the building before, and you at least probably improved your weaknesses last year with the run defense. Man, like on offense, Shanahan can turn chicken shit into fucking chicken soup. It seems like chicken parm. Like he can take whoever and just make them look good, like bare minimum good, as long as they're healthy. And they were in a lot of games last year, even unhealthy. So, yeah, I don't know. I just don't see much slippage. I got a wild stat about the 49ers, by the way.
It was like week 3 to week like 8-ish. Like week 3 to like week 10 within that realm is what kind of, so like I count that as early to mid. So like that's kind of where I think that they could slip up a little bit, but maybe
I'm gonna go 12-5 instead of 13-4. I'm gonna change mine to 12-5.
But maybe I was gonna say maybe I'm wrong on it a little bit. I could be.
Could be.
I don't know.
Could be. I don't know. They just don't lose to bad teams often, though. You don't see them in division. Maybe like I could see them losing to the Seahawks one game, something like that. I could even see them splitting in the division with a lot of these teams. But
see,
I don't know. The
but
bad
I also
teams, I don't see
think
them
the
losing
Jags
to.
are terrible. I think the Bucks are good. I think the Falcons are interesting. I think the Texans are good. I mean, that defense is
Jags
very
are good, but I think the Niners could just, especially if that's a home game, that might be Jags on the road. I can't remember.
No, it's at home.
Wild stat though.
It's here in Jacksonville.
Wild stat for the Niners. I think it's since maybe 2000, like since the turn of the century. They either have outright missed the playoffs or gone to the NFC Championship game. No in between.
It's kind of crazy.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's
all right.
very much either or for them.
So we all have them as a double-digit win team. We are mostly in line there. I have them a little bit worse than you guys, but even then, we still all have them winning the division. So
we crowned them.
I just think we all have them winning the division. And last but not least is the Seahawks, and last but not least is me. And my statement is Sam Darnold will lead the division in touchdown passes. I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna hear it, and then I'm gonna talk myself. So go on.
I got to take a piss on that one. I gotta leave the bar, take a piss. I think look, if they had an offensive line, which they might, they drafted. We don't know if it's actually going to be good, but that's their weakness. And we've seen Sam Darnold's entire career before the Vikings of what it looks like with a not so great offensive line. He said himself he sees ghosts, so we know what it looks like. He knows what it looks like.
ESPN did him dirty for that.
Yeah,
they did not release the audio of that at all, but they did.
I mean, they have him mic'd up clearly, but you don't have to put that. Man, I'm just seeing ghosts.
Like, come on now.
You
didn't have to go there.
I would be so upset with ESPN if I was Sam.
The Jets.
Like, are you kidding me?
The Jets. No, I can't be with that. Only because, I mean, we just said what we think the 49ers are going to do. So I think, and I said that the Cardinals could possibly be a top 5 offense. So I would have Kyler and Brock Purdy ahead of Darnold in touchdowns. He's definitely he's gonna definitely be able to sling the rock if he has time. I actually don't think he's going to be terrible this season, but I think it'll be more of old Sam Darnold rather than Viking Sam Darnold. I'll just give you the record too right now. I got the Seahawks at 7-10. They're a classic 7-10 team to me.
Okay. Kyle, 7-10. You guys, if you want to, you can give your records with this as well. I don't feel like we're gonna.
Defense is much improved, though. I will say that. I think this is going to be a good defense. I think it'll keep them in games, but the offensive line kind of scares me for Samuel.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm leaving the bar and going to Waffle House, getting me
Every spot was a Waffle House. Patty melt with the hash browns.
Double hash browns, extra cheese, please. Yeah, I think Sam Darnold's going to be good, and I hope he's good. Like, I don't know if he's going to be as good as what he was in Minnesota. Like, I think a lot of that was kind of like the Kevin O'Connell effect and the Justin Jefferson effect. I think the defense is going to be great. I love their secondary with Reek Woolen and Devon Witherspoon. I'm worried about the offensive line, especially the health of the offensive line. The past 2 years, their O-line has just been decimated by injuries. I'm worried about the running backs. Zach Charbonnet, I think he's pretty decent. He's a good caliber starting running back. But Kenneth Walker is a shoo-in to miss 6 to 8 games. I hope he's healthy because when he's healthy, he's one of the best running backs in the NFL. Metric-wise, efficiency, all that stuff. And then I'm also worried about the wide receiver core. You have 2 slot receivers in Jackson Smith and Jigba and Cooper Kupp. And I'm interested to see how that's going to work out because I saw on X, I think it was Jeremy Fowler or somebody else, somebody that was like really reputable, had said that Clint Kubiak plans to rotate all the receivers at different positions. So like you're going to get some plays where Jackson Smith is going to be in the slot, Cooper Kupp's going to be outside. MVS is their third receiver, so like that's cool, I guess. I just worry about that. Like Cooper Kupp like showed obvious signs of a decline last year. And JSN's like a slot receiver. So like I have a hard time seeing him leading the division in passing touchdowns.
Yep. And what do you have the record at just while we're here?
I'm gonna go 8-9. I could see it being a 7-10, 8-9 team. I'll go 8-9 with this. I think they have enough talent.
Okay. Timmy, you?
I think Sam Darnold's going to be seeing some more ghosts this year. I think his success last year is completely Kevin O'Connell related. So I'm not. Clint Kubiak is a good OC, but he's not Kevin O'Connell. I think he's going to fail them. It wouldn't surprise me if towards the end of the season they're just like, all right, let's let Jalen Milroe take some snaps just to get him out there and see what we got. So I got him way down at 6-11. I think they're going to be a bad football team.
So I hope you guys didn't think that I agreed with the statement, because I don't. Kyle said we could throw out statements even if we don't agree with it. I just wanted to.
He might lead it in interceptions, and he'll be dead last in touchdowns.
I don't know about dead last, just because I don't know about the health of Stafford. That's literally the only reason.
12 games with Stafford, I'd take over 17.
I might too. Timmy, record-wise, I'm right in line with you. I got him 6-11. I think you'll see some cool flashes from him, but overall, defensively, they're going to be in a lot of first halves. And I think second half teams are going to pull away. And I just see you can't sleep on that team, and going to their building is going to be tough games to win. But I just think if they're not rolling early, it's going to be tough for them to really stay in games. So 6-11. But there we are. That's the NFC West. So go over it real quick. We all have the 49ers winning the division. Kyle has the Cardinals as his second best team at 11-6. Timmy, myself, and Brandon all have the Rams as the second best team at me 10-7, Timmy 9-8, and Brandon at 12-5. And then we have and corresponding from there. But pretty much each of us have two division winner or one to two playoff teams from the division. So
yeah, only team we really disagreed on was Cardinals. I think we're pretty much in lockstep. I think Brandon's a little higher on the Rams, but we all got pretty similar.
I was going to say, we each have, people are a little higher there. Timmy, you guys are a little bit more higher on the 49ers than me. Brandon's a little higher on the Rams. Kyle, you're higher on the Cardinals. And then everybody understands the Seahawks are the worst team in the division.
Taking all bets on the Cardinals, by the way, if y'all want to run with it. So
this was our NFC West. We are going to be going division by division, having these different statements, questions, talking about these teams, and then giving it there. Instead of going with our full prediction, we wanted to give each and every team in division the proper amount of time. So we're going to be dropping these pretty much daily. You're going to see a bunch of different divisions on different days, so you'll be able to go back to them. But yes, Kyle, Timmy, Brandon, NFC West, Warner Brothas Podcast, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, all at Warner Brothas Podcast. Be on the lookout here real soon for the AFC West. We're about to get into that here shortly. Warner Brothas Podcast. We'll be seeing you guys soon.